If you are a woman over 50 and you are wondering, who am I now or what is my purpose? You are not alone. In fact, what you're experiencing is not a crisis. It's actually the beginning of your most authentic chapter yet. Stay with me because I'm going to show you how to rediscover not just who you are, but who you're meant to become. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Stone, and this is Carry On. And I work with women over the age of 50 who are ready to design lives they're excited to wake up to. Today, we're talking about that feeling of being lost. Because so many of you have messaged me saying things like, I don't know who I am anymore. I feel invisible. I gave so much to everyone else that I lost myself. I'm successful in my career, but I feel empty. And is this all there is? First, let's understand why this happens to so many of us after the age of 50. First, we have our role transitions. We get the empty nest. Maybe we have a career change. We have aging parents. Then there's the physical changes, menopause, energy shifts, changing in appearance. Let me know if I'm alone in the fact that I do not recognize the body that I'm seeing in the mirror. Like, who does that belong to? Because that's not my body. Give me an amen if you understand. Then there's the relationship evolution. Marriages change. I have coached many women, sadly, this year, who are trying to adjust to life after losing their spouse. Divorce happens, death happens, and then just the adjustment to that empty nest can really put stress on a marriage. Then there's the friendship shifts. You know, the friends that go and move to a sunnier area, Elaine. You've built your life around that friendship and then suddenly they're gone. And you're like, what do I do now? I've invested in that friendship. And it's really hard to make friends as you get older. You know, it's not... I think we're just slower to choose who to trust and who to invest our time in. And so our friendships become more important, but then also people start going their own ways. People move closer to their kids. People move to sunnier areas. And in that, your social circles start evolving. Like, you know, you've made all of your friends at work, and now suddenly you've decided to retire. And now your friends are still working, and here you are. What do you do? It's not easy. I've just gone through this recently when I decided to finally leave the boutique job that I had worked since I turned 50. And I realized, wow, I made friends there that I'm now not seeing every week. And that is a really strange adjustment because you realize the parties you once attended, you now won't be invited to because it's a work party, right? So things change, and that is sometimes difficult to adjust to. And then we can't talk about this subject without talking about the societal messaging, that invisible narrative that we get after the age of 50, the ageism, and the past your prime myths. This isn't failure. It's actually a natural transition that can become your greatest opportunity for transition. What feels like loss is actually liberation. For the first time in decades, you get to choose who you want to be based on your desires and not everyone else's needs. Most advice tells you to find yourself or discover your passion. But that is actually backwards thinking that will keep you stuck. There are a lot of limitations to the finding yourself. When you start trying to find yourself, what you actually end up doing is looking backwards, looking to who you were, what you did love doing. And it causes you to focus on who you were instead of who you want to become. And that will lead you to return to an old version of yourself, instead of creating a new one. But the better approach is to look to your future self. Instead of trying to find who you were, what if you could design who you wanted to become? I was thinking about this recently in looking back to who you were. And I was looking at it in terms of trying to lose the weight that I've been trying to lose over the last year. And I've realized I've been trying to get to this weight that I was in my 30s and 40s. And I started thinking, I'm not in my 30s and 40s anymore. What I need to do is to find the weight that is right for me now, for the person that I am now, for the woman who is strength training and walking 15,000 steps and doing good things for her body. I need to figure out what her weight is. So I'm not looking back to 20, 30-year-old me or even 40-year-old me anymore. I'm looking ahead to 80-year-old me, and I'm making decisions for my health and my body now so that she'll be happy then. And that's the power in this exercise. When I first started my transition process after I turned 50, I spent a lot of time looking backwards. And I've learned through the last 6 years that that didn't give me any power. So let's look at the future self method. Step number 1, you're going to give yourself permission to dream again. Start by giving yourself permission to want what you want and not what you think you should want. And here's a little mini exercise for you. I want you to stop right now and do this exercise. Imagine you're 70 years old and someone asks you what you're most proud of in your life. What would you want to say to that? The answers you find there are not nostalgia. That is your future calling. Step number 2 is the 10-year exercise. This is a simple but powerful exercise that I've been using with clients for years. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 10 years from now. Ask yourself these questions. Where does that woman live? What does her typical day look like? What is she known for? What makes her eyes light up? How does she spend her time? What impact is she having on the world? Notice how when you focus on your future self, you are not worried about your past identity. You're excited about the emerging one. So step number 3 is you're going to work backwards from that person to today. Once you can see her clearly 10 years from now, ask yourself, what would she want me to do today? If future you is healthy and vibrant, how will that affect today's choices around movement and nutrition? Would healthy and vibrant Carrie sit down today and eat a bag of Doritos instead of a healthy lunch? No. If future you is creatively fulfilled, how will that affect today's choices around learning and expression? If future you has meaningful relationships, how will that affect your choices today about connection and boundaries? Now, whenever we talk about change, there will always be obstacles, and most of those obstacles come from our heads. So let's talk about some of those. One obstacle I hear a lot, but I don't know what I want. That's because you're trying to figure it out in your mind. You're going through past memories and things that maybe you've tried and failed in the past, or mistakes that you made that you're still holding on to today. You can't make this decision in the head. Your future self lives in your imagination and in your heart. So start with how you want to feel, not with what you want to do. When you start with how you want to feel, you can make choices that will lead to those feelings, and that will lead you to what you want to do. Another obstacle I hear a lot, it's too late to start over. Well, let's look back through history and talk to, I don't know, Colonel Sanders. He was quite old when he started KFC. There are so many stories of people not achieving their dreams and not even starting a business or succeeding in a business or a career until later in life. There's no excuses. You're not too old. I've always said, as long as there's air in your lungs, there is a purpose for you upon this earth. And I can tell you, there is more of a purpose than just sitting and watching TV or playing golf. There's something for you to do. So if you think it's too late to start over, you're wrong. Because this isn't starting over. This is starting again. But this time, you are starting with decades of wisdom, skill, and experience. You are not the same person. So do not expect the same results. I can tell you this as a woman who spent over a decade fighting chronic illness, and a lot of that time was spent in bed. When I turned 50, I thought everything was over for me. I thought it was too late. I had already lived my life. I felt hopeless and helpless. But you know what I did? I transformed my life. And I did it by living for future Carrie. Every decision that I have made has been for 80-year-old me. And I knew that if I continued on the path I was on at 50, 80-year-old me, if she was still alive, would be old and decrepit. I don't want to be that. And I wanted to accomplish something in this world. And I'm telling you, I have transformed my life in the last 6 years, and I have never been happier. So it's not too late for you. Another obstacle is I feel selfish. We are so brainwashed to think that if we do anything for ourselves, we're selfish. But that's a lie. The most generous thing you can do is become the fullest version of yourself. Because when you do that, you have more to give. And I don't know about you, but I have a daughter. And when I started this transformation process, one of the main reasons that I did it was for her. I wanted her to see her mother empowered, living life, impacting the world in a positive way. And when she got to be this age, she would always be thinking about that. And she wouldn't let her old age get by her either. You know, it was something that I just wanted to do for her to empower her decades from now. So when you're feeling selfish, remember this. The world needs what only you can give it. To not give it, that would be selfish. So remember this. You haven't lost yourself. You've just outgrown who you used to be. And that is exactly where transformation begins. So give yourself permission to dream again. Design your future self through vision and work backwards to today's choices. If this resonates with you and you're ready to stop feeling lost and start feeling excited for your future, I've created a free workbook called Your Future Self that will walk you through all of these exercises and more. You will get the complete future self visualization exercises, 10 guided exercises to design a purposeful life, a concrete action plan to start living your purpose today, and everything you need to discover not just who you are, but who you are meant to become. So click the link in the description. I'm going to put it right at the top of the description and download your free copy of Your Future Self. I am so excited for you to do these exercises because it is my passion to help you live your purpose with passion. And it fills me with so much joy to know that you will be doing these exercises. And if this video helped you, would you please give me a thumbs up? And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would just love it so much if you would hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell because I share videos like this every week that will help you to not only discover your purpose, but live that purpose out with passion. So hit that like, hit the subscribe, download your free copy of Your Future Self, and then check out this video right here. And until next time, carry on.